You spent 3 hours building the perfect routine, every detail. The exact time you wake up, the exact supplements, the exact sequence. You wrote it down, you felt amazing. Then reality hit. 9 a.m. Your kid needs something. Your email explodes. The routine crumbles. And you hate yourself for it. This is the trap. You've fallen in love with the idea of who you want to become, but you've refused to do the unglamorous work of actually becoming that person. The philosopher Jean Baudrillard called this hyperreality, the moment where the map becomes more real than the territory. You've built the perfect life in your head. The actual life you're living feels like a failure by comparison. Here's what happens next. You abandon the routine. You start planning an even more perfect routine. Then another. You're addicted to the feeling of progress without the slowness of actual change. But look at J.R.R. Tolkien. When you think of Tolkien, you think of genius, cultural immortality, Middle Earth. But for decades, he was just a professor, a quiet office, writing fragments between lectures, rejection letters. He had a family to feed, a mortgage, academic politics. The territory of his life was mundane, suffocating even. He didn't have the finished masterpiece. He had the boring, exhausting, entirely unglamorous process of creation. He couldn't see the map yet. There was no map. There was only the work. One page, then another, for years. I remember my version of this. I was obsessed with optimization, the dopamine hit of planning. I'd spend weeks designing the perfect system. The moment things got messy, the moment real life required real adaptation, I'd abandon it all and start designing something new, more perfect, more polished. I wasn't building a better life, I was building a better fantasy. The shift happened when I stopped looking at the map, when I looked down at the actual ground beneath my feet. Here's the biological truth. Your brain doesn't care about your plans. Your neural pathways don't care about your vision board. They care about one thing, repetition. Every single time you repeat a habit, you're physically strengthening a neural connection. That process is slow, it is boring, it is completely, utterly immune to your motivation or your intensity. If you want to change who you are, you have to be willing to be a beginner for a long time. Willing to look incompetent, willing to let the fantasy go. This is where most people quit. Because the truth is humbling. You can't fix your whole life today. You can't. The fantasy promised you could. It lied. But here's what you can do. Pick one thing, one small thing. Not the masterpiece, not the perfect routine. One habit, something boring, something that takes less than 10 minutes. Not because it's impressive, because it's honest. Commit to it for 21 days straight. Not because it changes your life on day 21. It doesn't. But because 21 repetitions prove something to yourself. You're no longer living in the fantasy, you're living on the ground. Day 22, your brain has started building the pathway. Day 30, it's deeper. Day 60, it's automatic. You don't have to think about it anymore, you just do it. And here's what happens next. The habit becomes identity. You stop being the person who plans. You become the person who does. That identity spreads to your morning, to your work, to your relationships. You look at yourself 3 months from now, and you don't recognize the fantasy version anymore. The territory of your actual life is better than the map ever was. That's not inspiration. That's just what happens when you stop waiting and start doing. Pick up the brush.